is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a beautiful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. There's one thing we can say about America, and by extension, the media of America, and that is that they do not mind being on the wrong side of history or the wrong side of an issue or just being downright wrong. They just don't mind doing that, and they never learn that that is a weak and insecure position to be in, to always be on the wrong side of something, because your ego won't allow you to admit that you lost and that somebody else is better at something than you are. Now, this is Dawn Staley and her South Carolina Gamecocks. They won the Women's National Basketball Championship the other night. They won, and it was an impressive win. It was a good game. Iowa was their opponent. They played their hearts out. South Carolina won and Iowa lost. They had been running around here, the sports writers propping this team up and this woman, Kaitlin Clark, and they lost. So rather than admit that they lost, they have moved it on to the next level and say, well, okay, those black people over there won, but this is the star and this is who we're going to focus on. They have made her a focal point, and they are doing disservice to her because she is going to have to prove herself when she goes to the WNBA. And she's going to come up against those same women or some just like them. And she's going to have to prove that she is as good as the news media is propping her up to believe. And I don't know if she believes the hype or not. It would be to her advantage not to. We know how the world works. When you go into a competitive situation like that, and it looks like you are granted favoritism that the rest of them are not, they have ways of punishing you that the news media, the sports writers, cannot protect you from. So they are doing her a disservice. And you see how they tried to pit her against Angel Reese. So Angel Reese had to come out and say, I don't hate Kaitlin Clark. I love Kaitlin Clark. Now, I don't know what Kaitlin Clark has said. And then the coach at South Carolina, she was pressured, I'm sure, into talking about what a great player Kaitlin Clark was. See, this shouldn't be. This really shouldn't be. America needs to stop doing this. Everybody sees your hand now. You're trying to tip the scale, putting your hand on the scale for the other person. But at the end of the day, she's going to have to prove what she can do. So I'm saying the news media should let this woman live. Let her grow as a basketball player just like anybody else. If she's that great, if she's that good, it'll show up soon enough. And this kind of thing backfires so much. And then they just go on and tell another lie and move on to another subject. And they never, ever learn. They should let this young woman live and give her a chance to prove how good she is instead of trying to talk her up. So look at this headline. This one fact makes Kaitlin Clark's ratings dominance even more impressive. So what are they telling you here? That she is responsible for the ratings dominance. Not the game itself, but just her. Last year, Angel Reese was the one that brought attention to the game when they played Iowa. So this year, when the matchup came again with Kaitlin Clark and Angel Reese, it generated interest in the game. So it wasn't just about Kaitlin Clark. And then after they beat LSU, and now they had to face another team, that team that had not lost any games this year brought their own audience to this arena. So it wasn't just all about Kaitlin Clark, but this is their way of diminishing the black players and coach and elevating this white woman. And I'm saying they're doing her a disservice. Let this woman live. So this article is just talking about how there was a ratings boost in this championship game last Sunday that they haven't seen in a long time. What's telling is that Iowa was not drawing any kind of crowd for the first part of this basketball season. They only started getting big numbers when they started playing these big schools that are known for having good basketball teams. When they played the University of Connecticut, they had the largest crowd that women's basketball had ever had before. But UConn has always been a powerhouse with women's and men's basketball. That's what they're not telling. Nobody was interested in them for the first part of the season. Kaitlin Clark was playing on the team the first part of the season. The only time the game got interesting was when they started playing these big schools with these black girls who are known for winning. Yet she gets the credit for the ratings boost. And listen to what they say. It wasn't until more than halfway into the season that the networks that air women's college basketball started revolving their schedule around Clark. So they made her. In other words, it's propaganda. It would have been fascinating to see what the networks would have done next season if Clark was coming back for another year at Iowa. I bet money every single one of her games would be shown on television. That's questionable. It would depend on who they were playing. Because if they aren't playing anybody, if they're not playing these schools with these winning teams, they're not going to air it because they're not going to have enough viewers. And listen to this. Just like at that disparity in viewership for this year's Final Four games, Clark drew double the viewers as the other games. Double. Now, they're trying to say she did this single-handedly, not giving the other teams any credit. So this is what I mean. They don't mind being wrong. They don't mind being on the wrong side of an issue. Now listen to this ballyhoo propaganda. Bottom line, there hasn't been an individual responsible for a sports ratings growth like Clark since Tiger Woods. So y'all see what I mean? This is propaganda and it's lies. Golf is a single person game. Basketball is a team sport. So the whole analogy is wrong. It is just ridiculous the way they do things, but again, they don't mind being on the wrong side of history, and they don't mind being on the wrong side of an issue. They should let this young woman live. They should let her grow, play her sport the best that she can, and see where her hard work, her discipline, and her talents will carry her. And it shouldn't have anything to do with them blowing everything out of proportion just to make her look good so they don't have to acknowledge that these black people are the ones driving this game. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening. This is what I have to say. Let me know what you have to say. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.